I've been a pretty heavy reader over the last 2 years, mainly comics and manga, but traditional books as well. While I love the feel of a physical book in my hand, filling my shelves and flipping pages, there's something to be said about the convenience of accessing countless books from the comfort of my bed or the couch. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how the iPad makes a great alternative to the Kindle. So let's talk books. Wait, that's not the phrase. Oh yeah, let's talk tech. I'm Arnell with Ardently Tech, and on this channel our main focus is finding tech that improves our daily lives. And that doesn't always mean that you always have to go and buy a new device. So if you're looking for an e-reader, hopefully this video will help you to find some insight to possibly repurpose something you might already have. One of the challenges I found when looking to get into a Kindle is that I wanted to be able to buy the device, but also not have to spend a fortune on buying new books or comics for new releases. With a Kindle, I'd also mainly be locked into that specific ecosystem and the books available on there. And while that library is massive on services like Kindle Unlimited and Prime Reading, I wouldn't be able to necessarily specifically get my main apps, which in my case are the Shonen Jump app, the Marvel Unlimited, and DC Universe Infinite. I would have to buy every new chapter or single issue individually to read on the Kindle, and that's just not the way I want to go. Adrienne recently covered how giving an iPad a dedicated use is the best way to make use out of this virtually unnecessary device for so many of us. I mean, if you have a phone and a computer, or a phone and a TV, the use cases of an iPad start to go down to basically just being what you can do on any one of these other devices, but just on a larger screen than your phone. So after wiping off the dust from my 9th gen iPad, I decided to give reading on it a shot and quickly realized that this is the way that I want to go. I bought a paper-like screen protector to not only cut down on the glare, but give me a paper-like feel on my fingertips when I swipe to the next page. I got an extra case to swap out for a more comfortable feeling in hand, and I tweaked the settings to tailor this to a better experience, like creating a reading focus mode that with one tap can change my wallpaper and wipe out all of my other apps, so I just have one thing to focus on, which is reading. I also set up a shortcut to quickly change the white point on the screen to dramatically cut down the brightness for a more realistic image. Lastly, I set up a yellow screen filter to turn on at night so that it basically helps to reduce the eye strain. From there, all of my favorite apps worked seamlessly, and it brought all of my favorite features of reading, but just on a nice, large, beautiful screen. The battery life is great since with my reading habits I can usually get about 1 to 1.5 weeks of use before needing to charge. The brightness has been very helpful to be able to read my books from any angle, while the paper screen protector cuts down glare to make it look like I'm actually reading something on a piece of paper. This for me was the cheapest way to get an e-reader because for me, I was using my iPad less and less. I originally bought this iPad to edit videos for my comics and manga channel, but now that I have a Mac Mini, this became redundant. Are you noticing the theme here with redundancies? So giving this a dedicated task to be my main e-reader has literally saved this iPad from falling by the wayside. But if you're somebody that doesn't already have a device and you're looking at something more dedicated like a Kindle or maybe like the Kobo Libra, well, I'm here to hopefully offer some insight to help you make your purchasing decision. So with a device like a Kindle, you have the option to go with something small and pocketable like the standard Kindle. You can get a color option in something like the Kobo Libra. Or back in the land of Kindles, you can get a beautiful black and white option like the Kindle Paperwhite. In these devices, you're getting something that has a dedicated display to give you the very best electronic reading experience while putting the least amount of strain on your eyes as possible. They have extremely long battery life and oftentimes have a high level of water resistance for those times you want to read in the bath or by the pool. The problem with those, however, and I say that term problem very loosely, is that you're locked into their ecosystem. With the Amazon Kindle specifically, you're looking at the Kindle Unlimited app, Prime Reading, and Comixology for us comic and manga readers. Those would be kind of our main libraries to get books to read from. Included in those services are a very healthy amount of options, which for many people is good enough, but for me, I wanted more. Of course, just getting the Kindle doesn't necessarily mean that you are locked to only those specific services. You can always go out and buy the newest releases of books or comics or manga, but that gets very expensive very fast. So that brought me to a device that would let me use my main 3 apps for comics and manga, but also lets me use anything else that might come out new in the future. This ultimately led me to just using my iPad. With the iPad, I could download any reading app I want, adjust all the settings and features for comfort, and have a larger color display than I would get with those other options. I would rather have the more powerful processor and color-rich display on the iPad over the e-ink display and limited functionality on something like a Kindle. Now, I will say that if I was somebody that wasn't interested in reading anything that's new coming out, and I was perfectly fine and content on what's on the Kindle Unlimited app, for example, well then the dedicated Kindle would be the better option for me. But the moment I want something more from a Kindle, I would have a better experience just having and using the iPad, because if I need something more capable in a pinch, like looking up something about the story that I'm reading, which I personally do a lot, then I still have a fully functioning iPad that I can do iPad things with all the time. But what are your thoughts? Are you team iPad or team Kindle? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked this video and you found value in it, drop a like. That's right next to the subscribe button. Check on either of these two videos flashing on the screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.